Working from home as an entrepreneur is really exciting. It's very fulfilling, but it comes with its challenges, especially for women. One of these challenges is this balancing act that we have and we struggle with between our time at work and our time at home because they cross over in so many ways. So that's what we're going to talk about today in today's episode of Soul and Strategy for Entrepreneurs. We're going to be exploring actionable steps for women entrepreneurs to achieve a healthy work life balance. So let's just dig in and get this party started. The first thing you're going to want to do is set some very clear boundaries. I know when I first started working from my home office, this was not the case. I was trying to do laundry while answering phones and making schedules, and it was complete overwhelm. I felt like an octopus with 8 things going at one time. What I've learned along my journey is that when you're doing one thing, do one thing, focus on that. Multitasking is not where the magic is going to happen when it comes to working from home. So you're going to want to establish very clear boundaries between your work and your personal life. And this is going to help you prevent burnout and help you maintain your well being. So you can do this in a couple of different ways. Maybe you have a home office, maybe you don't. If you do, definitely close the door when you're working, if possible. If you don't, there needs to be some kind of transition. So it needs to be in a certain space, or you have a certain sign up, close something, so that not only you are very aware I'm working now, or now I'm off work and I'm at home now, but your clients know what to expect. Your coworkers or people that you work with know what to expect. Oh, they're not on the clock right now. Um, and that your family members know not to interrupt you, not to distract you, that you're actually at work, and make those clear boundaries. Establishing them quickly and as early on as possible is going to save you a ton of headache. I promise you. The second thing is, and this sounds like it's not going to be really related to work, but I promise you it is, it's prioritizing self care. So make sure that self care is a non negotiable part of your routine. And this can be often overlooked by women in general, but especially entrepreneurs when we're struggling with that balance and trying to get all the things done and covering all the bases. What is the first thing to go? It's usually self care. It's usually us that we put to the back burner because we don't view ourselves as the highest priority. But I need you to reframe that thought. Make self care a non negotiable part of your routine. And that means scheduling regular breaks throughout your day to rest, to recharge, engage in activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul. So that can look like whatever tickles your fancy. It could be exercise. For me, that's not it. Meditation, that's what it is, or hobbies, spending time with loved ones, whatever it is that floats your boat. But you have to have those breaks. You cannot be productive at all times, even when there is so much on the plate that you want to take care of and so many ideas that you want to get started on. Self care must be a priority. So then the third thing, and this was so hard, this was a hard one for me. It really was until I got it. And once I got it, then it was easy. Delegate and outsource. You gotta recognize, I don't care how long you've been playing the superhero, you gotta take that cape off. Recognize you can't do everything on your own, and this is okay. Think that the world expects us to be these superheroes, but In actuality, I think we're the ones that expect the most out of us. We are so demanding. So I want you to get out a piece of paper and write down all the things. Just do a brain dump. Once you have that brain dump down on paper of all the things running through your head, go through it and cross off or just erase anything that really doesn't matter. Like, oh God, why was that even in my head? Once you do that, now you can go through your real list and you can see what can I delegate to other people? What can I outsource? Maybe to family members, maybe to the neighbors, maybe, and it may not be things actually related directly to your business. It could be other things not related to your business, but have an indirect effect on your business. That's what I discovered. I did a time audit and just wrote down what I had done the previous hour, each and every hour that I was awake. So, for instance, if I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock I was putting down just bullet points of what I did from 8 to 9. And I didn't get into detail, but what surprised me was a lot of it was checking the things and checking and checking and checking all the things, the emails, the notifications, all the things. And I noticed how much actual time was invested into that. It felt like just seconds at the time. Oh, I'm just sitting here anyway, taking a break. No, if you're taking a break, you take a break. You don't do the things. Okay. But it really enabled me to identify some things. And that's what we're going to talk about in number 4. But number 3 is outsourcing. Go through that list of things that actually need to get done. So once you have that list, the brain dump, and you've crossed off the things like, where the hell did that come from? Go through and figure out, is this really a priority? Is this just a wish? Like, is this just a fantasy? Pick out the ones that are aligned with your goals right now, the ones that are highest priority. What things of that list, I want you to highlight that. Pick a certain color, specific color, I don't care what color, and highlight that part of the list, those things. Who can I delegate to do this? How can I outsource this? And it doesn't necessarily have to be paid outsourcing. It could be bartered. It could be just delegating to other family members. There can just use your imagination. Once you're left with, no, these are the things that really need to be done by me, and these are the highest priorities. Now you know what to focus on every day and make sure that your activities are in alignment with that list. Not giving a lot of room for other things to come in and take over and distract you. That's what's going to really help you a lot. But you absolutely must start delegating. You are not Superwoman, nor do you want to be, in truth. We feel like we need to be, but we really don't want to be. And then number 4 is something I touched on when I was talking about number 3, and that's really practicing time management. It's not about controlling the time. We all get the same amount of time, but it's really about mastering the art of focusing in on what our priorities truly are. I don't like to make to-do lists. I like to make a priority list. So you have your priority list from the last step. Once you have that, what are your activities wrapped around that priorities? Are they in alignment? Because I promise you, running to the store for a quick thing of cupcakes for dinner is not going to be on that list. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm telling you, put your time and your effort and your focus into things that are in alignment with your actual priorities first. And then you can fill the rest with the fluffy things. At one point in time, I did a little study, and I could pretty much guarantee you that if I were to ask general people, the general population of entrepreneurs, what their priorities were, and have them write that list 1 through 10 maybe, and then took their day planners. This is back in the day when that was written out, um, and compare that to the list. The day planner, or the things that actually got done that day, is usually the opposite of the priority list. So least being first, and the highest priority being last. And it shouldn't be that way. This is how you create burnout and don't get the things done that are actually going to move the needle forward in your business. We're so busy doing the things that aren't really what matters most, because it's a way of hiding. It's a way of having excuses to not do the scary things. We don't recognize it at the time, but that's really what it is. So that's number 4. And again, you know what? You can do the time audit yourself. It's very, very simple. You just, mark it down. You could do a Google app. You could write it down on paper. You could do it digitally, however you want to do it. But if you keep track of what you're doing each hour, just a general idea, you're going to discover something magical like I did. What I discovered is I really didn't need to outsource things in my business. That's not what I needed. The procrastination, the dread, the overwhelm came in with specific activities for the home. So, with certain things that I had resentment about, that I had dislike for, that I noticed, like, okay, this task only takes me half an hour, 45 minutes, but yet every day it's eating up 3 hours of my time because I procrastinate beforehand so much. And then I do the task, I finally do it, it drained me, and now I need to rest, I need to take a break. Those things I was able to outsource for a very, very low cost. And it was like magic. It was like magic. Suddenly the pressure was relieved off my shoulders. It didn't feel heavy anymore. So I really highly suggest that you do your own version of that time audit, and be specific. Be specific and be diligent with it. Give it, like I was told, my coach told me to do this, and I was very resistant. And I was told to do it for 2 weeks. It took me about 4 days to figure that out. Okay. So number 5 is fostering flexibility and adaptability. So yes, you want to have some sort of structure. Yes, you want to have some sort of idea of the things that are going to be your highest priorities. But let's face it, we're living in a very unknown time. Things happen. Boo boos happen with the kids, doorbells ring. Things don't always work out the way we want them to work out. Clients are late. Deliveries are never on time, or often not on time. Things happen. So while you are focused on that structure, you also would do well to embrace flexibility, adaptability, to really navigate all the demands that the entrepreneurship life brings you. Be willing to adjust your plans and priorities as needed, but make sure it's needed, not just like, oh, this came up, let me just do that instead. Don't be too hard on yourself when things don't go according to plan, because that's how it happens. That's how it works. I want you to think about the average 9 to 5 W-2 employee. Not that that's the mindset I want you to go to, but do you really think that the employee or the employer is getting 8 hours of actual work out of them every day? No, because things happen, things come up, and there's that bendy and flexible time that we have to make room for. So I want you to cultivate a growth mindset and view the challenges as opportunities for learning and growing, and be flexible. So there you have it, guys. 5 actionable steps for you to start taking control today to create that work life balance with ease and flow. Remembering that balance is an ongoing process. This is not a destination. You're never going to get there. You're just going to get better at it. So be patient with yourself. Prioritize what truly matters. Give yourself a break. Honor your needs and your own boundaries along the way. So thank you for tuning in. This is Dawn Marie signing off. Until next time, may you find harmony and fulfillment in both your work and your personal life. If you found today's episode to be helpful, to be uplifting and supporting, be sure to subscribe and like this for more content like this.